I want to say thank you all, number one, for taking the time to get on. I know a lot of people have been affected in a myriad of ways by the storms that came through Florida. I've probably been by your home, if not your neighborhood, in some form or fashion to see devastation across Palm Beach County, Martin County, St. Lucie County, the three counties that I represented, and largely localized from tornadic activity. And there are a number of resources out there that can assist from FEMA to the SBA to the USDA. There are a myriad of government agencies that do have assistance out there for different lanes. And so I wanted to try to give people the opportunity to hear directly from some of these agencies in ways that might assist you. And one of the reasons that I think it's really important that you hear from the Small Business Administration, I've had this brief that they're going to give to you. I've asked a number of questions of them myself. And the reason that I think SBA is so important is because as I juxtapose FEMA to SBA, FEMA doesn't go in there, as I tell many people. FEMA support caps out at about $43,000. However, even though FEMA support for somebody that's getting individual assistance caps out at $43,000, just from the words of the FEMA administrator directly to me, I asked her about this. We drove around the community and I asked her a number of questions. She said, very unlikely. Most people do not receive $43,000 in assistance. And even for many of you, that wouldn't get you very far down the road into repairing the damage that's been done to your home. It's far more likely, the FEMA administrator said, that you get $4,300 than that you get $43,000, even with the level of damage that many of you have seen to your homes. So the Small Business Administration is very important. Even though they're labeled business, they do business, but they also do loans for individuals recovering in times of disaster like this. And the loans that the Small Business Administration does, and they will get into the specifics of what the loan rates are and things like that, and the things that they can discuss in terms of terms. Very low rate loans, generally under 4% or roughly 4% for the percentage of these loans, which is better than you're going to get in a lot of other circumstances, in various categories of what they max out at, but significantly higher than what the FEMA grants for individuals would do. So the very low interest rate loans at much higher levels in order to help you recover from the disasters that have come across our community. So in that, I want to say thank you to the individuals from Small Business Administration for being willing to give this brief to our community. And Harris, I'm going to let you pass it on.
I think, Congressman, we've got Yvette Jeffrey, who is the public affairs specialist for the state of Florida, who's going to be on. And she's developed a really, really great presentation for us that will be coming up on the screen shortly. Yvette, I'll hand it off to you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to speak to the survivors from Florida. We want to make sure that you understand that we do have assistance not only for businesses, but for homeowners and renters and nonprofit organizations. So as Harris said, my name is Yvette Jeffrey. I am the public affairs specialist lead here in Florida. So I'm working in the state of Florida with a team, and we're happy to present and tell you everything about the SBA program and the benefits to applying for the SBA program. Our FEMA partners are wonderful, but as the congressman expressed, their max grant isn't always what everyone receives. I'm sorry. They may receive a lot less. And the SBA wants to bring you back to a stability that you were prior to the storm, the tornadoes here in Florida. So we want to make sure that we're helping you with as much as we possibly can. If you would advance to the next slide. So the Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience, our mission in the Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience is to connect individuals, businesses, and private nonprofits with SBA Disaster Assistance Program to improve disaster recovery outcomes and economic resilience by helping communities prepare for, respond to, recover from, and mitigate against these disasters of all types. So we are here to assist, again, not only businesses, homeowners, and renters with the damages that you may have sustained during the tornadoes here in Florida. So this is a presidential declaration, which means the president has declared federal assistance to be provided to the state of Florida, and that's for individual assistance. So Once the declaration was declared, SBA program was automatically activated. Businesses of all sizes, including private nonprofits, are available for assistance. Homeowners and renters are available to apply for their uncompensated physical losses. So we want to make sure if you have any type of damage that you are coming to the Small Business Administration and just seeking information and applying. And again, these are loans that are made available through the federal government. We want to make sure that you know that homeowners are available. That's the big misconception that we hear a lot is homeowners are not eligible. You are up to $500,000 to repair or replace the physical damage to your home. For renters, up to $100,000 to repair or replace your personal property. And the homeowners, again, they also would be eligible for up to $100,000 for their personal property. So that's your belongings. It could include your automobile. So we want to make sure that you are aware of what we have available. For businesses, of course, we do offer loans up to $2 million. And then we all for structural damage in the declared primary counties. And then for economic injury, we offer assistance. It's a loan to keep businesses in business. So it's working capital loans. We know that you have been impacted and that you are receiving those monthly bills, your recurring bills. So we want to make sure that we're trying to help you satisfy that debt that continues to accrue, even though your doors may be closed. And we do that through many different ways. Of course, we partner with FEMA and we open disaster recovery centers. We use a lot of acronyms. So as you see my slide, it says DRCs. Those are just and FEMA centers, SBA is there. We staff them to make sure that we are speaking directly to the survivors that come in, answering questions, helping you apply for the entire process. From beginning to end, we can help you there, making sure that we collect any information that we may need to expedite the processing of your loan. Business recovery centers are a little bit different. Those are SBA only centers. There's only SBA staff, but we do assist homeowners and renters. So the center is named Business Recovery Center, but it is for anyone who has been impacted. You can go into our Business Recovery Center and you can apply. You can speak to a customer service representative and go through the entire process if you wanted to do face-to-face. The deadlines, of course, for our declarations are 60 days from the incident date. For working capital loans, it takes a little bit longer for businesses, and we require a lot more paperwork. So we give them 9 months to apply. So the deadline at the moment for physical damage is going to be December 10th. And for economic injury or the working capital loans will be July 11th of 2025. So business loans for businesses and nonprofits to repair or replace real estate inventory can be up to $2 million. Economic injury disaster loans for small businesses, the working capital loans I've discussed, it can be up to $2 million. So potentially up to $2 million. We do not add those together. Your business loan would be up to $2 million, and that would include your economic injury. Home loans for homeowners to repair or replace their primary residence. It must be your primary residence. If you have a rental property, well, that would be considered a small business. Would be up to $500,000. Home loans for renters to repair or replace their personal property. Again, that includes your automobile if it was damaged. It's up to $100,000. Mitigation, you have up to 2 years to apply for it, but it is to protect you from the damage reoccurring. So it's not home improvement. We want to make sure you understand it's not home improvement. It's to prevent the damage from happening again. And that's up to 20% of the verified physical damage. One of the things that I want you to understand, we lend based on what we verify. So we will have a verification of what your damages are. Please continue in your recovery. Do not stop from cleaning or if you need to get rid of furniture or any item, just take a picture of it or document it so that we know what it is that was there. If when we to do the verification, it is no longer on the property. So there are requirements you have to meet in order to apply for the SBA loan. So you must live in one of the declared counties for homeowners and renters. For businesses, for physical damage, yes, you will have to live in the declared county, but contiguous counties or neighboring counties would be eligible for the EIDL, which is the working capital loans. They would be eligible to apply for those also. We know a disaster does not stop at the county line. Sometimes the business would be receiving patrons from other counties. They would come in, and because of the disaster, they're unable to arrive at your business. So we want to make sure that we include those businesses, and they can apply for the economic injury disaster loans to keep the business in business. You do have to have a credit history that is acceptable to the SBA. Again, these loans are for disaster. We are aware of it. We can work with you. You will be assigned a loan officer who will explain to you the process. Repayment, SBA must document the applicant has the ability to repay the loan back. This is a loan. So we want to make sure that we're not adding additional hardship on top of the other debt that you may have. So we will work with you. We will, if your loan is declined or withdrawn for some reason, and some of the reasons would be we needed additional information, we needed a copy of your tax returns. Your loan officer is going to work with you to make sure you have all of the information how to overcome this decline or withdrawal. These letters give you very specific information. And then what we ask you to do is once you have that information available, that you provide it to us, and we can, again, open your case for reconsideration if it has been declined and or if it's been withdrawn because we were still waiting for information. So a decline is not a decline, a permanent decline. Nothing's going to happen. They're not going to help me. We ask you to please take a look at the letter as you receive it, see exactly what it is it's saying, why you were declined, and then we can work with you to see if we can overcome that decline. We have some really good resource partners. We will get you in touch with them. We will make sure that if there's something that they need to help you with, whether it be writing a business plan or helping you with your documentation of the business, we will refer you to them. And they're right here. They're sometimes in the centers with us, or we can provide them your information, have them call you and set up an appointment. Some of the benefits to apply for SBA loan, of course, is that we have the low interest rate. For the first year, there is zero interest on the loan, and you don't start repaying back that loan for 12 months. There is no cost to apply, no prepayment penalty. Funds are available even if your insurance hasn't settled. But your first line would be, of course, to go to your insurance, ask them what is available. We know some people will be underinsured or not have insurance for a particular reason. Just let us know, and we will go ahead and work with you to help with the determination. Some of the homes may be available for refinancing. That would be something the loan officer, once assigned, will discuss depending on the damage to the property. Of course, we have up to 30 years to repay these loans. Again, we understand a loan can be an additional hardship. So we want to extend it out as long as we can to see how we can assist you. Of course, there would be loans for mitigation. We talked about that. Potentially increasing your loan 20% of the total damage for mitigation. So an example of mitigation would be if you needed storm windows, if you needed, if your roof was destroyed, how do we get it to be better, more resilient in case there was to be another event that we hope we do not have. Loans can be modified. You guide your loan. You determine how much of a loan you'd like to take. And so we may approve you for $100,000, but at this time you say, no, I don't want to take a loan for $100,000. I want to take a $50,000 loan. So we'll modify that loan. So you guide your loan. we also allow you to decide whether this loan is something you want to take. You may go through the entire process and at the end tell us, no, I really decided I don't want to take the loan at this time. Not a problem. Since you guide your loan, we would just send you a letter saying that we did offer you the loan, but you will have time to come back if you change your mind and just ask us to reevaluate your loan. As long as nothing has changed, we may ask you to fill out some additional documentation, whether it be tax documentation or providing us a letter from another source, but your loan officer will work with you definitely for that. So the collateral for loans, there's no collateral, and this, I do apologize, it's up to $50,000 now. For agencies, up to $25,000. There are three ways to apply, and one is there on the screen, SBA.gov/disaster. You can apply from the comfort of your home, from your business office, or you can visit us at one of the recovery centers. For homeowners and renters, we ask you not to wait for your insurance settlement. We ask you to go ahead and apply, and then you can make the determination since you guide your loan, whether you want to continue, you want to proceed, or you want to withdraw. And then, of course, we will, if declined or withdrawn, we have 6 months to request reconsideration. So you can come back, either overcome the decline, or just say at this time you'd like to reactivate the loan. So we give you 6 months after the fact that a decision is made on your loan. If you've already made disaster repairs, if you bought a new car because your car is included in personal property, you can use the SBA disaster loan to pay off the higher interest debt. So if you already have a loan for your car and you are eligible for the SBA loan, you can use those funds to repay back that loan. And then you would have the lower interest rate. You just need to provide us some documentation. Again, your loan officer will be able to provide you exactly what he will need from that particular loan to assist you with covering those expenses. If you depleted your savings making repairs, please keep your receipts. A lot of people take pictures. That's also very useful for us. You can use the proceeds from the loan that you were approved to pay yourself back. So anything that you had to do immediately, we would use those funds to pay that back. For businesses, of course, and nonprofits, it's up to $2 million. That's the loan limit. For physical damage, economic injury, and mitigation improvements. So the max is $2 million, but it can be for any or all of those areas. Business loans can be used for repair, replacement of your property, your machinery, your equipment, fixtures, inventory, and leasehold improvements. We will work with you if you own the building, of course, for your physical damage. If there is something that you are responsible for as the renter of that property, we will also work with you to see how we can best support the money that you may need to make the improvements that you would be responsible for. Loans may be used to upgrade or expand. The loans may not be used to upgrade or expand unless it is required by the building code. So if something has changed and the building code has changed, then we will take a look at that. You will provide us that information and we will adjust to assist you there. Again, these loans are made to bring you back to the stability that you were prior to the disaster. They are not for home improvement and or expanding your business. Economic injury disaster loans, the working capital loans, they're for small businesses, and small businesses can be rental property. They can be small businesses that you operate out of your home. So we want to make sure that you come to us and ask us. Don't exclude yourself because you think that you may not qualify. Come talk to us, give us a call, visit us. We're happy to explain, give you the information, and take that application if you are ready to do so. So the EIDL loans, as I explained, they are for the primary declared counties who are also eligible for physical loans, and then the adjacent counties or the neighboring counties. We know a disaster doesn't stop at the county line. It continues and it impacts other businesses. Yeah. So you may be eligible for economic injury disaster loan, even if you do not have physical damage. So we want to make sure that you understand both of these loans are available to you, either or. You do not have to take both. But if there was no damage to your property, but business, you have some business expenses that you can't meet because of this disaster, the economic injury loan is there to assist you in keeping your doors open. They pay, again, the financial obligations, operating expenses that are continuing to accrue. Even though you're not open, you still may have fixed debt that has to be paid. So we want to make sure that we're assisting you with that. These loans are available even if you have an existing disaster or COVID-19 loan. So you can apply for disaster assistance with the SBA, even if you've had loans before. If you have a current loan and you're paying that loan back, still apply with us. Let's see what we can do to assist you. It may be a different category. It may be that more funds may be available, that you do have the ability to get an additional loan. So we want to make sure that you come in. Do not be discouraged if you already have a loan. Let us take a look and see how we can assist you. Again, we reiterate a couple of times, we don't want you to think that these loans are for expansion of your business. It is not. It is not to replace lost revenue or profits or to pay off existing loans. This loan, they will talk to you, your loan officer. You get assigned a loan officer specifically for business, and they will clarify exactly what funds are available and how they can be used. We do provide the necessary working capital to help small businesses until operations return to normal. And that may not be right away. So there may be some time when you will not be able to open, and we want to make sure that we're supporting the business by having the working capital loans available. So when you go into our loan portal, this is how you will find the information. So for this particular disaster, it is Milton. It would be under Hurricane Milton. It does include the tornadoes that happened during this event. As you see, it'll give you the counties, the primary counties. If you live in one of these primary counties, you are eligible to apply for physical damage for homeowners and renters. For businesses, you can apply for physical and the EIDL. Again, the deadline is December 16th. Okay. And that is a deadline that we set. We'd like people to get their information in as quickly as possible. But if for some reason you're unable to meet that deadline, then we will go ahead and extend some time where you can come in and just talk to us. Let us fill out the application. The portal will remain open for you to apply. And of course, economic injury, we allow more time because you may not immediately see what your economic injury is. It may take you a month or two to see the difference in what you did the previous year in order to relate it that it's to this disaster. Okay, this is what you will see actually on the website. There are several steps you will have to go. You will have to, of course, pick the state of Florida. It's going to give you there are multiple declarations in the state of Florida. So you want to make sure that you're picking the one that corresponds to the date of the incident that you were impacted by. So this is what you will see. This is the exact screen that you will see from the application process, the actual portal. And what is the process to apply? There are 3 ways that you can apply. Of course, we ask you can apply online from the comfort of your home or your business and you can receive disaster assistance information at our website. You can call our 800 number, the 1-800-659-2955, just so that you can speak to someone and they can either assist you as to giving you the address to where a business recovery center, disaster recovery center is, where you can actually meet with SBA customer service representatives. They'll assist you with inputting the information. They will give you locations. They will give you they can answer all the basic questions you may have. Of course, that's by calling us at 1-800-659-2955. Applicants may also call customer service at the 800-659-2955 or email our customer service at disastercustomerservice at sba.gov for more information on the disaster assistance that's available. For the deaf and hard of hearing, we have or has a speech disability, please dial 711 to access telecommunications relay services, and you can communicate with our customer service office, and they will be able to provide you the same type of information. What will you need to apply for a business loan? I'm going to do that for a business loan and for a home loan. You should have your cell phone. If you're going into the center, you should have your cell phone number and the contact information for all of the applicants. So anyone who's going to be added to that particular application, we will need to have that information. Social security numbers or EIDN numbers for all the applicants and or owners. Financial information. We're not asking you for the actual documentation, but at least have an estimate of what the income, account balances, and your monthly expenses are. We can get that information from you later on if it's needed. We need you to have a copy of your most recent federal income tax return. You don't have to take it with you. We can request that and you can bring it in later, so you don't have to have it physically with you. Sometimes we need to go to the IRS to get the forms because they were damaged or they're no longer available from the applicant. And of course, your insurance information, if you have it available, the name of the insurance or maybe your insurance policy, the phone number, and then we will start the process to apply. So we begin the same way you would begin in your home at the disaster recovery centers. We go onto the SBA.gov. What you do is you create an account for yourself, and we will help you work through the entire process. One of the things that you also will need that is not on the slide is an email address, because we do communicate with you through email. The cell phone is because we will send you a verification code, and you'll need that verification code in order to continue in the process. But everything begins either at a disaster recovery center, a business recovery center, or sba.gov/disaster from your home or business. Okay, so I've given you a lot of information, but I want to make sure that I express the importance it is to start your recovery. We ask you to use all of the recovery that's available. You may have some local, you may have state that are available to you. We ask you to apply for everything. We ask you to apply for the SBA program at the moment. We are still accepting applications. We want to make sure that we are processing your applications through its completion. As you may well be aware, I want to make sure that you understand at the moment we are not funding loans. We are processing them until our budget, until the budget has been released, in which case you will already have, you're in line. So if you are approved for a loan, the funding, once we have it, we will fund those loans as quickly as possible. So we do encourage everyone to do it as soon as possible. Again, this is a loan that you guide. You tell us how we can help you. You do not have to accept the loan, but we do encourage you to apply through the entire process to see how we can help. Again, the deadline is December 10th for these particular loans. Economic injury will be July 11th of 2025. So we encourage you to please continue in your recovery process. I am happy to answer any questions that you may have. If there's something in particular that is for you, your individual case, and you'd like us to assist you with that, I'm going to ask that you contact or have Congressman's office gather that information for an individual question. We'll be happy to speak to you. I'll be happy to make myself available. If there are any questions that are just for your case, something that you think you wouldn't ask in a public setting, please just get in touch with us. I will be happy to talk to you. I will be happy to gather the information, get you the disaster recovery centers. But on our website, it will list all of the centers that are currently open, disaster recovery centers and business recovery centers, where you can get assistance one-on-one. With that, if there's anything that I can answer for anyone, I am available for as long as you need me this evening.
Thanks so much, Yvette. Really appreciate that wonderful presentation. One of the questions that we just had kind of come in offline was, excuse me, offline was whether or not that 12/16/2024 deadline, that's a hard deadline by which people must apply, but you said there's some flexibility. Now, is that for individuals who start the process but don't necessarily finish it? Or is that just, like, or if they don't apply until, whenever, do they still have that flexibility or do they have to have something input by 12/16?
No, December 10th is the actual deadline. We always extend that deadline to homeowners, renters, and businesses. We know that sometimes you can start the process, and what happens is after a period of time, we'll withdraw the file. If you're not providing us additional information, we'll withdraw it. That just means we've taken it out of it being processed, the clock running out. We will go ahead and reactivate that file as soon as we have the information that we need. You'll receive a letter that'll tell you exactly what you need to do in order for us to reactivate that file and continue the process. But we know it's a disaster. We know that sometimes the documentation that we need, it takes some time to gather it. So we are flexible with that date. We want you to be aware. We try to keep it probably another 30 days after that deadline. But we encourage you to do it as quickly as possible for your own recovery so we can get funds to you as quickly as we can. One of the other things that I didn't mention, and I know, Harris, I spoke to you about, was your insurance deductible. So you can use your SBA loan to cover that deductible from your insurance. I know some of the insurance deductibles are high, so we want to make sure that we're assisting you with that. So if your deductible is high and you are approved for a loan, those funds can be used to pay that deductible down.
Thanks so much. I know that's been a pretty big factor, especially in a high property insurance state like Florida. And it's something that we've noticed in parts of the communities we were just in last week where people can't afford the deductible. One of the questions that we had that just came in was regarding the budgetary process. So, for instance, I know SBA is out of money. The speaker has said that there's going to be a new tranche of funding that's going to come in when Congress is back around like November 11th. Congressman Matz has said that we should come back now and like do that, but obviously he didn't set the schedule. But I mean, I wonder if you can kind of talk about the process because this money isn't instantaneous. And I mean, obviously, if someone was to put in their application today, it's not like they would have like a loan tomorrow. It'd still probably take 1 or 2 weeks. So very, very likely if they do the application now, by the time the entire review process is done and Congress comes back and they vote on it, that money's probably going to be there, and that would probably be the same timeline as if the money was there now. My assumption, I don't know 100% sure, but can you talk a little about that?
Absolutely.
So people kind of
Yeah. So it takes a few weeks to get through the entire process. Okay. So you come into the center, you apply. Remember that in the state of Florida, we have a lot of applicants. So you go, if you start the process now, when the funding is available, then we're going to fund those right away. So we'll be able to tell you if there's something, we're processing the loan. So if there's a question, if there's documentation that we may need, it's not going to stop you because we're going to continue processing that loan till its completion, whether it be an approval or a decline. If it's an approval, it'll be there. As soon as the funding comes in, they're going to offer you the funding. Then you will close on that loan. So it is a loan. So there are several steps. You apply, we process it, we ask for additional documentation if it's needed. After that, we will then make a decision. Once a decision is made and the funding is in place, we will make the offers for funding those loans, and then we will close on that loan. With some luck, it'll be sooner than later, and we may even be able to close them right here in the state. So we are working towards that. That's our goal is as soon as the funding is in, to start funding those loans that we have already processed and we know are in approval.
100%. Another question that we had was, so obviously, we're a few years removed from COVID, and the Small Business Administration kind of helped play a big role in helping people survive that pandemic. Someone was asking that if they already had an SBA loan from COVID, whether on their business or I'm not sure if that applies to private property damage, but would they be able to roll that loan into a new one potentially, or would this be like two separate loans? How does that process work?
That's something you would be discussing with your loan officer, but you can have multiple loans from the SBA. They may not roll the loans because COVID loans and these particular loans have two different interest rates. They have two different terms. So you may have two SBA loans, but that's something you would discuss with your loan officer, and depending on how much the loan is for, how close you are to paying that loan completely back, they'll be able to tell you. But it would be two separate loans because this loan is particular for this incident and the interest rate is different than the COVID loans.
Gotcha. That makes sense. We have another question in here that has to specifically deal with a insurance issue. Your SBA, I would suggest that person. I'll type in my email after this, and they can reach out and we can have a conversation offline about it because I think that'd probably be the best place to handle that. One of the other questions that we had, and this was something the congressman specifically brought up, was so if you do have like a mobile home or if you have like a prefabricated home and it's maybe in a flood zone or something, part of the loan that you could get from the SBA would allow you to basically purchase a property in another area if that area where you currently live is condemned or it's no longer habitable. Is that accurate? Is that my understanding of it?
That is right. So we do gather all that information and we determine whether the house has to be relocated. And at that time, your loan officer will work with you. I know some of the mobile homes were completely destroyed and they're in flood areas and people are asked not to come back to the area. So we want to make sure that we're assisting you the best way possible. We will look at relocating a property for you, depending on what exactly is said and what, of course, your insurance is providing. A lot of people have questions about the flood zones. So if we are repairing or replacing, we do, and you are in a mandated flood zone, you may be required to have flood insurance. And we know that that is a expense, a very high expense here in Florida. But in order to secure the property, we may ask for you to have flood insurance. So I want you to be aware of that. That is something that you would have to have in order to keep that loan, and you have to keep it through the entire loan. You can't have it at the beginning and then drop it because then you are not complying with the regulations that we have asked for that particular loan.
That actually makes a lot of sense, and that's actually really helpful. Where's some more information? We'll obviously email your PowerPoint. We'll send it out to everyone after this, just so they have it, and we'll also send a recording of this video. I was gonna say maybe you can kind of talk a little bit about where like FEMA, SBA, and everything kind of fits in because most of the people who have damage are told to go through their property insurance company, and then whatever that is, FEMA can kind of step into that role. SBA is kind of a larger third party here that can potentially step in and do some of that. But do these loans work better when they're kind of layered upon each other? So if you get some help from your property insurance company, you get some help from FEMA, you get some help from the SBA. Is that how you would suggest people approach this scenario?
So our program has changed a little bit. Recently, we've changed where you do not have to go to FEMA to apply for SBA. Prior to this, what you did was you applied with FEMA and FEMA would refer you to SBA and we would kind of start the ball rolling then. We don't do that anymore. You can come directly to the SBA. I've been in a couple of disasters. I apply with my insurance. I apply with FEMA. I apply with any state aid there may be. I apply with the SBA because we don't know what you're going to qualify for, and we want you to qualify for as much as is available. Some of the programs will not have more than millions of dollars available, and then once that is exhausted, then that will no longer be available. But we want to make sure that you are applying for everything possible. You should apply with your insurance. You don't have to wait for the settlement with your insurance to come to SBA because if you have insurance, when you settle with your insurance, we can possibly get you the funds faster. And when you settle them, the proceeds from your insurance that you would receive just come back to pay the loan off. So then that's an agreement that when we're processing it, we're happy to lend you the money up front till you settle. It gives you a little bit more flexibility to discuss different things with your insurance. You don't have to take the very first offer that they make you. And SBA will come do an evaluation. And again, we lend based on what we verify. So we may be seeing things that you may not be seeing immediately.
Thanks so much. One of the last questions that we have is what state aid programs are available. So we have a pretty large comprehensive guide on our website that kind of outlines some different federal and state programs that are available. Each of the counties, Martin County, Palm Beach County, and St. Lucie County has also opened a emergency resource center where you have representatives from FEMA, representatives from local charities, representatives from state and local governments. We have that information on our websites as well. We'll put in the link for that where you can go and you can get information or you can potentially contact someone. There are a number of state programs that have been made available by the governor, everything from like tree removal to help with some property damage issues or some insurance relief. We'll be able to provide some of that information to. I don't have those answers on hand right now, but we'll provide a link with all the comprehensive information that we have, and we'll point you in the right direction if you definitely reach out to our office. I think that is. I think that's all the time that we have right now. We want to be respectful of your time as well. And my email is Harris, haris.alic@mail.house.gov. You can always reach out to me, or I think Yvette's email is also in that PowerPoint presentation that we'll be sending around. And everyone who has any issues can reach out to our office. And I just want to say thanks so much for doing this, Yvette. Really appreciate it. We'll probably be doing another one of these with some other agencies in the next few weeks. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for being
Let us know if there's anything that we can assist and any questions that may come up after this. I'll be happy to answer those. And I'm willing to come back and do whatever other meetings you have available.
Thanks so much.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. I will be back on YouTube with more exclusive content, so stay tuned.